Good afternoon. I'm Tim Carter. This is Ask the Builder, and glad to see you. Uh, I, I, I've had a really busy day today. I don't know about you. I think we're going to have a pretty good live stream. We got quite a bit to talk about. I'm going to talk about pocket door hardware in just a minute and tell you a few stories. I think it'll really it will inspire you to make sure you buy the right hardware. It makes all the difference in the world. I will also be sharing um, basically some really interesting developments where I live. I live here in central New Hampshire, and we've got a pretty interesting game, a strategic Game of Thrones going on here in my HOA. So I, I it's really interesting actually when the way people. I'll give you an example. So um, it can really be illustrated best. I saw this is not my idea. I saw this one day. I'm trying to draw something here. So and anyway, so I'll hold this up. So if you look at this, you probably see. Just imagine if this was drawn on the ground with a piece of chalk on a blacktop parking lot, and imagine if you're the O person standing where O is, and somebody else is standing where X is. I mean, you're looking at the same thing, but one person sees a 6 and the other person sees a 9. So that's kind of where we are right now with this issue in my home, in my HOA. But I'm going to talk about that later. I just wanted to let you know if you have any questions about your home. It doesn't have to be about pocket door hardware. I mean, I'm going to talk about that. But if you have any questions about pocket doors, if you have any other question about your home, that's why I'm here. So feel free to ask it. You can go completely off topic. It doesn't matter. And you can really ask any question you want. I'm happy to answer it. We try generally to stay away from the topics that nobody agrees on. Well, that I shouldn't say nobody agrees on. That no matter what I say, I won't convince you, and vice versa. So we just try to stay away from those for the most part. But when Steve gets here, I'm sure he'll bring it out. How you doing, Edward? Great that you're here. All right, so let's talk a little bit real quickly about the pocket door hardware. I have discovered that it's really best to talk about the topic of the live stream pretty early on because people tune in for that, and especially after the video is curated, the live stream, it becomes a curated video on my channel. I'll start with a story first of all. This is going way back in time. This is probably could be 40, 45 years ago. Well, even longer. I was really fortunate to grow up in Cincinnati, Ohio, and in Cincinnati, Ohio, if you've never been there, it's a lot like many other larger East Coast cities because the city was founded in the late 1700s, and by about before the Civil War, or the War of Northern Aggression, that's what the Southerners call it. It was really a bustling place, and it was actually had a nickname called Porkopolis because there was a really large pork industry down in the Mill Creek Valley, and the Ohio River was right there. So the trade, I mean, the Ohio River was used, to get products downriver. Cincinnati's got a really interesting history. As the city grew, and then it went up onto the bluffs to get out of the valley, a lot of big, fancier homes were built. In communities like Hyde Park, Price Hill had some really great neighborhoods, and many of these homes back then, the Victorian architecture, it was very common to have pocket doors, and they would have converging pocket doors. to both open up the house and also to create privacy. And these were big doors. I mean, some of these doors were 2 inches thick, pretty heavy, and they had this very large hardware that was hidden up in the pocket, and it was pretty common for those to wear out. It's really hard to get parts. Uh, so the I cut my teeth on those type of pocket doors, so I know all about them. Hello, Louise. How you doing? It's going good. Uh, and as I started to go into the building, I found out that the lumber company that I bought from at the time it was Hyde Park Lumber. They're still in business, but the whole business had to move probably about 4 miles from where they used to be. They would sell these pocket door frames made out of wood, and I didn't know any better because see, here's the trouble. I did not come from a building family, so I didn't have the luxury of soaking up some knowledge as a youngster or a teenager had my father been in the business. Those young builders that have that opportunity, they've got a little bit of a head start if they're paying attention. I just kind of got into it after getting out of college. And when you don't have enough life experience, you really find it hard to separate the good from the bad. Ah, thanks, Edward. Yeah, I'm going to be making some more videos this spring, but wait till you hear what I'm going to be doing. I'll talk about that today in the live stream. The first pocket door that I bought, the pocket door frames, there was like a precast, prefabricated pocket door frame, and you would create the big rough opening, and then you would just kind of slide this in, and it was made from like 1x3s, and it had a pretty crappy track like you would find on regular bypass doors. And what would happen is the lumber, the actual lumber that created the pocket, it would have a tendency to warp. And if it bowed in, then after the whole job was done, your pocket door would start to rub on that one by because there wasn't that much room. There wasn't that much of a gap between the door and the framing. Well, you have that happen, and if the customer complains, it's a nightmare to fix that. Very expensive. Plus, those crappy tracks that the doors could come off the track, and that's a nightmare. It didn't take me long, luckily, to find out that there was really a premier pocket door hardware company. And I don't know when they started. I'm sure you can go to their website and read their history, but they probably started back before, I was a builder. They probably started in the 1950s or 60s. It's called Johnson Hardware. And their factory was located not too far from me, but I had never driven up there. They're in northern Indiana. So I started to use the Johnson hardware, and what I immediately saw was that this was so superior for several reasons. Number one, they use these metal studs that they wrapped around a piece of wood. So the metal, there were two vertical metal studs on each side of the pocket. Those are not going to warp. They're going to stay straight. The door is never going to rub. So that's really important. The most important thing, I think, was the design of the track. And the track was made in such a way that the trolley, and that's what you would call it, the trolley that rode on the track, and there's two of them because you support the door at 2 points, and then the door slides, through the pocket like this. Those trolleys had 3 wheels. 2 of the wheels went in one track, and another wheel went in a separate track. And because of the way you installed it, it was impossible for the trolley to come off the track. It was completely impossible. What a crazy, incredible idea. And they were made with really good ball bearings. They were made with Teflon coated wheels, quiet as can be, hardly any friction, extremely well designed. The best part is you could put one of these things together. I mean, even if you had never done it before, you could probably completely build the entire frame in 25 minutes. You'd have it installed, but probably less. It's really simple because as long as you have the rough opening correct size, you put up this big header that's got the track in it. and then you just have to connect 4 of those metal studs to it. And they have these beautiful little spacers at the bottom so that it's completely the right width. It's amazing. So I'll type in their website here. I'd like giving them a good plug because they make a great product. I'm sure this is going to take you to the right place. I think that's right. Yes. All right. So go there. And if you're watching right now, please go there. If you don't mind, I want to make sure we got it right. I want to make sure that link works. So go there, and then if you could type in the chat that it took you to Johnson Hardware and you see pocket doors, that would be wonderful. Jason, he's here. And I didn't know that you were Superman. You are awesome, dude. All right, so Johnson Hardware, in my opinion, they make the best pocket door hardware. They also make all other different types of hardware. They make bifold, they make bypass, they make really unique bifold hardware doors. You know, the traditional bifold hardware is when you would open up those doors and they open up like an accordion, you don't get the full width of the opening. Well, Johnson Hardware has a special hardware setup that when you bring the doors back, they kind of swing out and you have the complete full width of the opening. It's extraordinary. It's really amazing. Okay, great. Thanks, Oak Grove. I appreciate it. Because I type really fast, and it's a great company, and it's all made in America. And I didn't get a penny to mention them. If I did, I would have to say that when I uploaded the live stream. I don't get any money. I didn't get any money for them to do this live stream. I just want to share with you who makes really good pocket door hardware, so that you can, if you're going to put a pocket door in, you're not going to have any problems ever. I mean, you're not going to have any problems. Here's the biggest tip I want to give you though when you install a pocket door. When you're trimming the pocket door out, you need to be able to take out, you need to be really careful about using nails. I would never use any nails to install the little thin jambs on the pocket or the upper jambs. You can use really beautiful brass finish screws, or if you're trimming the house as chrome, you can get chrome plated screws. You can take your time and countersink them, because if you need to change, like for example, if the door gets damaged, if for some reason the door itself warps and starts to rub, you need to be able to get up to be able to adjust the height of the trolleys and stuff. So sometimes you might have to take those jambs out. So you want to be able to easily get those jambs, the pocket jambs and the top jambs off in just a matter of minutes. And you do that with screws. So don't nail those things. Don't nail those on. Don't ever do that. Jason, I'm doing really good today. Wearing my new LL Bean flannel shirt. It's called Buchanan. It's very blue. And we got an email from LL Bean that we had a lot of bean bucks saved up. I have one of our credit cards is an LL Bean card, and you know how those credit cards work. You either get cash back or points or whatever. And so we had yeah, it does fit pretty well. They say this. I took a chance on this shirt because it says slightly fitted. If I'm kind of I don't know if the camera's distorting me, but I'm a little stocky, and I could probably stand to lose 15 pounds. So I'm not some thin, slender guy, but I'm also not obese. So if I was to buy a fitted shirt, I'll feel like a sausage, and I hate being constricted like that. This one is slightly fitted and it fits pretty good. And if I'm able over the next few months to lose 10 pounds, it's going to fit great. It fits good though. It fits good now. It's got the button down collars. It's a really nice shirt, and it's a really great weight. I've talked about LL Bean before. I like to buy from LL Bean because they have a really high quality standard, and their clothing. I've bought their clothing for years. What I love about it is it lasts so long. I could go buy a shirt like this from that big giant superstore that begins with a W. I don't even want to say their name. All right. And I could go buy from them a flannel shirt that looks just like this, and it probably only costs 35% of what this one cost. But in 15 months, it'll be rags. I'll have it in my rag box in my laundry room because it'll fall apart. And I learned that the hard way. Whereas I have some LL Bean flannel shirts. I know you're not going to believe this. I have this red and white one. It's a very classic plaid pattern, red and white and black. It's got to be 20 years old. Got to be 20 years old. And what typically happens with me is I wear holes in the elbows. That's where they go bad. That's the only place they go bad. All right, enough about LB. They make great stuff. I wear their field watch. Their field watch. It's the best watch I've ever had. Well, I had a really, really good watch, but I gave it to a friend. But this field watch is amazing. I've had 2 of them. All right, let's see here. When I get sticker shock when I look at the price. So Wayne, I don't know. Are you talking about the LL Bean shirts or are you talking about pocket doors? I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, so the LL Bean stuff is a little bit more expensive. I get that. Yeah, got it. Okay. But like I said, they last. I mean, I've got some of their dress shirts. Get this. I have some of their solid colored dress shirts. I wear them to church each Sunday, and I've got like 4 or 5 or 6, so I rotate. And I'm telling you, I just wore one on Sunday for the Bengals game, and the shirt is 20 years old. I mean, their stuff just lasts forever. All right. So anyway, well, good afternoon. Yeah. I agree, the traditional fit, but this one, the slightly fitted, it's not bad. It's not bad. I would do it again. But it's funny on the screen right now, the way I look at it, I don't know. It's a little wash. I don't know. I guess it's a pretty accurate rendition of the color. Pretty nice color. If you have any questions about your home, it's not the ask the clothes guy show. I'm the last guy to ask about fashion or what matches. I don't. I'm not that good at coordinating clothes. I never got that skill set, but I do like blue. If you have any questions about your home, just put it in the chat. Happy to answer whatever you want to know about. I was not here yesterday, in case you wondered, only because there was a lot of Juju Magumbo going on here at the Carter House mid-afternoon. We were hoping that Kathy's car would be repaired and that we could go get it, which means I would not be streaming. And as it turned out, the car wasn't ready. And it's not ready today. We're hoping it's ready tomorrow. They figured out what it is. Now they're just waiting on this part. And it's been kind of a nightmare. So Kathy's not had her car for over a week. Got towed to the repair shop last Monday. So it's a little bit not really drama. It's just that I just had to be on call to be ready to go get that daggone car. Here's what I want to bring up to speed on. I don't think he's going to be here until Thursday. But you may wonder about the Super Bowl. So Alex and I had made a bet, and the loser had to send the winner a box of dark chocolate pecandis. Well, I placed the order for those yesterday morning at 6:30 in the morning, and they're on their way, and Alex should get them tomorrow. But the trouble is, Alex, is 3 hours behind in LA, and but I fully expect him to be here Thursday, chatting, telling you how delicious the pecandis are that he got from me. But what a shame about the game. That was real. It was actually a very interesting football game. I have given up on the NFL because they went woke, and I only started to watch the Bengals because I was from Cincinnati for 55 years, and my son told me, "Hey, Dad, you should be watching these Bengals because they're doing really good. They might make the playoffs." So I watched the last 4 games that the Bengals have been in. But it was a great. If you know anything about football, it was actually a very interesting defensive struggle back and forth. Both defenses did a pretty good job, did a remarkable job, and the game really could have gone either way. I mean, the Bengals actually, in reality, I think the Bengals should have won that game, but it always boils down to just a couple of plays, and that's the way it is. I used to play football in high school, so I know. Uh, it's a very interesting game, and to me, I think at that level, by the time you get up to where the pros are, a lot of it is mental. I mean, because physically, the players are pretty evenly matched. I mean, they're pretty evenly matched. So it's a matter of who's got mental toughness. And I remember my high school coach talked a lot about that. And, to a kid that's 14, 15, 16 years old, it's like, what the hell are you talking about? Mental toughness. I mean, he would use all kinds of adult words. And I didn't like, what the hell? I mean, when you're 15, 16, 17 years old, you're only thinking of one thing. You're thinking of Friday and Saturday night. That's what you're thinking of, not mental toughness. If you have any questions about your home, put them in the chat. That's what I'm here for. I'll also share with you today, a record day at Ask the Builder. Pretty amazing. This morning, I had a realtor from New Orleans, Louisiana, email me. He had me 3 years. He evidently is he's a realtor, but he's also must be an investor. And I think what he's doing, I have an estimate. It's none of my business. I'm just speculating. I think what he's doing is he's picking up at really good prices some of the vacant lots or the rundown houses that were abandoned after Hurricane Katrina. And he's then rebuilding a new house on the site and then either selling it or renting it out. So 3 years ago, I did a plumbing isometric for him. And, he remembered that. And then he emailed me saying, "Hey, do you still do these drawings?" He said, "If so, I need one drawn right away." So I emailed him back, and then I decided, oh, heck, I'm going to call him. So I called him up, and 10 minutes later, the order was placed. I already had the plans. And then, I don't know, 2-3 hours later, another order came in. That's not unusual. I've had 2 in a day. But just before going live on a stream, got a third order from an architect in Arizona. And so I have never gotten 3 plumbing plans orders in one day. And it's actually a goal I'm trying to achieve. It's a really interesting business. I've been a master plumber since age 29, and I love drawing the plumbing isometric drawings. And you have to have one of those drawn. You have to present one to get a permit. And if you're just a regular person and you're not a plumber, you would have no clue how to do that. I mean, you may think you know how, but I'm 99% sure that you're going to size the pipes wrong, and they're not going to give you a permit. What the purpose of these drawings is, it's to show the plumbing department that not only that you know how to vent all the fixtures correctly, you have to show all the venting pipes. But just as important, they want to make sure that you're installing the correct size drain pipes throughout the entire system, because as you install more piping and you have more fixture and more flow, you have to continually upsize the pipe. And the code's very specific about that. And the odds are the average person would never know the right pipe sizes to use where. And I do, and I like drawing it. And I've computerized it all, so it's a lot of fun, and they look beautiful. They're all in full color. I even did a bunch of research when I started to go computerized to make sure that the colors that I use are colorblind safe. So a colorblind person can see all the drawings, which is really important. And so I'm saying all this that in case you're getting involved in a job where you want to get a plumbing permit, just know that I do these drawings. Just reach out to me, go to my shopping cart, just look under the plans tab. And, or if you know of a friend, if you know somebody who's getting ready to build a house and they want to save 15, 20, 30 grand and do the plumbing themselves, I can draw their plans for them and I can help coach them on the phone. I told a story. I've told it several times. So really interesting about this. It's now been almost a year because let's see, it's middle of February. So yeah, about a year ago, I could look her up. I had a young woman from New Mexico order a set of plans. Really simple. I think it was a 2-bathroom house. But the surprising thing was she was going to build the house herself. And, she really ambitious young woman. And she emailed me and she said, I think I want to put the plumbing in myself because I'm having a hard time finding plumbers. And she said, do you think I can do it? And I said, once I looked at the plan, I said, absolutely. I said, I know you can do it. I said, I can help you do it over the phone. And her name was Zoe. And so I do these consult phone calls, $50 for 15 minutes. It's like, I'm like a taxi cab, you just pay for the time. And I think we only did 3 phone calls. Maybe we did 4, but no more than 4. So she invested $200 in phone calls maximum, probably only 150. And to make a long story short, she installs the plumbing. The inspector comes out. She passes, and he says to her, he said, "Did you do this?" And she said, "Yeah, I put all the pipes in." He goes, "Where did you learn how to do this?" And she goes, "Oh," she said, I had a guy help me over the phone. Tim Carter. They asked the builder guy. He's in New Hampshire. She said the inspector kind of shook his head. It's like he couldn't believe this. He's been doing this 30 years. All right, 30 years. He goes, "In my entire career, I have never seen such a good installation. It's absolutely perfect." He said, and it's better than like a third of the regular plumbers who I inspect all the time. So, that was really a funny, I mean, I really got a lot of pleasure out of that. But you have to understand, most of that is Zoe, because Zoe did it right. She followed my advice, but she had to do all the work and she did it all perfectly. And of course she was motivated, because it's her own home. And I just get so much pleasure out of that. It's so wonderful to hear success stories like that. Oak Grove says, I used your coaching several years back from one of your videos installing a 4-way switch. So I assume it worked, right? Otherwise you would have wanted your money back. Those 4-way switches, they're really interesting, how they work and, how they work in between 2 3-ways. I'll never forget. Oh man, it was back. I can tell you exactly when it was when I put in my first one. I put in my first 4-way switch. It would have been it would have been 1976 or early 1977. And I know the house. It was the address, 6270 Robinson Road. No, only one N, Robinson, in Cincinnati. And it was a really kind of unique staircase in the house where, when you came in the front entrance hall, there was this. You would go up about 4 steps to a landing, and then you would turn left to go straight upstairs to the second floor. But at the landing, if you didn't turn left, you could go straight and down another 4 steps to go right into the kitchen. It was a really unique. I mean, it was an incredible floor plan. It was this wonderful circular floor plan. And I had to put in a 4-way switch there. And I put another one up in another hallway. So it was, and when you put 4-way switches in, they have to be in between 2 3-ways. And I've got all that on the website. So if you want to know about 3-way and 4-way switches, just go to the website. If you have any questions, put them in the chat. I'd love to answer questions. That's what drives the live stream, by the way. It's the questions that direct where we go. So go ahead and type something in. I'll do my best to answer it. I've got hot chocolate today, so it was pretty nippy out this morning, 5 degrees, warmed up a little bit, starting to get warmer. In fact, excuse me, we're getting we're getting some really balmy weather on Thursday. I mean, it's going to go up, I think, 55 degrees. They're talking about some rain. And it's really interesting. This time of year, the public works departments, they get pretty, I don't want to say they get nervous, but they are, they know what to do. So I had to go out with my wife this morning to get some bird seed, and they had already come out and along the sides of the roads at very critical locations. They took a plow and they cut through the snow on the side of the road so that if this rain does happen and there's a lot of snow melt, if you don't do that, all of a sudden, it's just like the roads become these giant raceways, and you can wash out a road. So you need to be able to get the water off to the side of the road. And so they come through and they make these cuts to basically make a channel so that the water can get the heck away from the roadway and not wash it out. And this is great. I'm going to send you. Did you not? I don't think you emailed me. In fact, I know you didn't. You didn't email me your address so I could send that 2x4 to you. I told you I would do that. I'm going to send you a mystical, elusive four-way switch design for me, since that was my first video I watched of yours. Are done with. That's pretty good. Yes, I will sign it for you. Boy, that'd be pretty hard. I'd have to use a magnifying glass because there's not a big area to put a signature on those daggone switches. But anyway, I think, to give you some context, back a week or two ago, Jason, he wanted me to sign a scrap of 2x4 with my name on it, and he was going to put it on eBay to sell it. And I laughed at that. Hey, Steve's here. And I laughed at that because I said, I got bad news for you. I said, I don't think I'm famous at all. I said, you can put that on eBay and they'll go, who's Tim Carter? And I still maintain that. And then what's funny is the next day I'm at the grocery, and out of the blue, a stranger comes up to me and says, hey, you're the Ask the Builder guy. But he didn't ask for my autograph. So that tells, if people don't ask for your autograph, that tells you all you need to know, that you're a nobody, that you are a nobody. I lost. The Bengals lost. The score of the game was 23-20. And so on yesterday, I ordered the chocolate. It's on its way right now. It's on an airplane going to Alex. I'm sure he's going to be here on Thursday telling all of us how delicious the pecandis are. And he'll be telling the truth because they are delicious. And so I didn't welch on the bed. I bought those bad things right away. And what happened is right after the game, Alex and I were texting a little bit during the game. Not much. And after the Rams won, I texted him and said, hey, send me your address because I want to order those things in the morning. The Bengals. Bengals did a great job. They did a great job. But here's what happened. Our quarterback, Joe Burrow, he got sacked. I think he got sacked, I don't know, 7 or 8 times in the game. And that's you can't allow that to happen. I mean, maybe you can get sacked once or twice in the Super Bowl, not 8 times. And he never fumbled the ball, but those just 1 or 2 plays would have made the whole difference in the game. But there's an old saying, woulda, coulda, shoulda. So who cares? The Bengals lost. They'll be back. They're a great team. They'll be back to the Super Bowl, if not next year, the year after. They just need some help on the offensive line. The right side of the offensive line, they need some help. And believe me, the coaching staff knows it. They'll be working on that. And anyway, Bengals, they did a good job. I was really happy. It was a great game to watch. All right, DBM services. So buying this pocket door kit, do you ever build? No, you would not. That's a great question, by the way. You would never want to build a pocket door kit from scratch. When you look at that trolley, in fact, I mean you have to understand the tiny. I know you can't see much in the thumbnail, but if you go, let me right here. I'm going to give you a link, and you can actually see the trolley beautifully in this photo. I mean, you can see it. stand by. I want you to go to this link right now. And when you go to that link, DBM, you will see why you are not going to be building this thing yourself, because you see all of the parts of the pocket door kit. And I mean, you're not going to be, and even if you could build it yourself, you would never be able to, unless you don't value your time at all. I mean, maybe you put zero value on your time, which I feel is a mistake. You would never be able to build this thing for what you can go buy it for. It's not that expensive. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. 8-bit vinyl, and it was crazy. But go look at that link. I'll put it in again. Go look at this link and look at the photo at the top of the page. It shows you all of the parts, and you can see that triple wheel trolley. And you can actually see, let me go back and look. You actually can't see it very well in that picture where the track is, but you have to understand that that track that the trolley goes into has got a channel on each side. So once the trolley is in place, it's impossible for the trolley to derail. It's impossible. The only way it could derail is if one of the wheels actually broke, off the trolley, and the odds of that are 1 in a billion. That's not going to happen. Yeah, I agree. Burrow, he got his right knee twisted late in the game, and it just they did a really good job. But I used to play high school football, and I'm just telling you, if you go back and analyze 4 or just 5 key plays, just if something a little bit different happened in those 4 or 5 plays, been totally different score. And I think what a lot of people forget is that, especially on the Bengals are a very young team. I don't know what the average age is, but I mean, you're talking about. I mean, I know they're young men, okay, and I know they've played football in high school and college, and now they're pros. But I don't know that. I think some of them, not all, some may think they know more than they really know, and that's a problem. And it's a big game, and if you're not mentally tough, if you don't know how to handle that pressure in a big game, then bad things happen. And I think that was part of it. All right, let's see here. Steve says, I keep seeing YouTube videos from an American and Canadian builders complaining about the price of wood going up. Is it bad? Well, that's a great question, Steve. I have not. Well, I'll let someone else do it, and I'll keep talking. If you don't mind, if you're watching the live stream, could you somebody go do a quick Google search about current lumber prices or the graph? I would type into Google lumber price graph for the past 2 years, so you'll get back a graph that'll show you what it's doing. It was very high. It was up 400%. It was up back about 18 months ago, Steve. The price of lumber was, I think, close to $1,700 per 1,000 board feet. It was way up there, up like 400%. I think that was the number. I'm not going to swear to it. It dropped back down about 9 months ago. It could be back up, but I can't imagine why the price would be back up, because the whole illness thing, all that's over with respect to the logging mills and, all that kind of stuff. I mean, so I just can't imagine why the price would be up other than the inflation. So it was just announced here yesterday. You know how I keep beating on inflation. I saw a news story this morning that the wholesale inflation rate here in the United States for last year was 9.2%, I think. 9.2. That's a huge number. I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy inflation. And the stories are, it's not going to get any better. And that's going to be ugly if that happens. I mean, you're going to see a lot of suffering. DBM says, how easy is it to build a curbless shower? Curbless. I think you probably meant curbless shower. I think on a web floor trusses. For me, if you're going to build a curbless shower, which I am going to have in my next home, you have to do a lot of thinking. You have to do what the old tile setters used to do. I just one of these things. I wish all those years ago I had taken photos, but I can draw it. I can actually draw what happened. They would drop the level of the floor in the bathrooms to be able to pour their mud bed, and they would chisel off the top of the floor joist about an inch or so, and to give them all the room they needed. And so, if you wanted to do it right, I would be putting in wherever the bathroom is. I would have a special floor system for the whole bathroom that is suspended within the regular floor system, and I would probably drop it down. I haven't done my math yet, but I'm just going to say at least an inch and a half, and that would allow me to pour. To put a complete waterproof liner down on like the Schluter-Dietrich product, put in the floor drain, in the shower area. And then, of course, in the shower area, that whole area is a giant funnel. So all the water goes down to the floor drain. But I would also want to have the rest of the floor a very slight funnel so that if somehow any water got onto the rest of the shower floor, it always made it to the floor drain. Most people would not know how to do that. They would mess that up. But in my head, I know exactly what to do because I worked on enough old homes to see how the guys did it 100 years ago. All right, let's see. Here's the link to our main DIY store. Have a look at the wood in there and compare it with yours, and let me know the difference next time. Okay. That's interesting. DIY.com. I did not know that was an English, a store in Britain. Very interesting. I'll write that down. Yeah. So I don't know, DBM, if I answered your question. I'm going to say it's easy, but it's not easy. Here's what I am going to say. Luckily, we have really great products out there right now. Like Schluter-Dietrich makes them. It's an amazing system. I have to hand it to Schluter-Dietrich. They have come up with a brilliant system to trap and hold water and direct water, within showers and bathrooms to a floor drain. It's brilliant. It's a really great system. B&Q, interesting. Okay, all right, Steve. I'll take a look at it and see. And then I will, you can go here, like you can go to homedepot.com. I hate to say that. Hate to plug those guys. You can go to homedepot.com or lowes.com to look at lumber prices here in America. The thing is, you have to understand that the lumber at those two stores is really, in my opinion, this is just an opinion, it's just crappy lumber. I don't know that Home Depot or Lowe's stocks number one or select grade. I think everything there is number 2 or number 3. And so the best lumber you can get here in America, Steve, for rough framing, we grade it select. And select typically used to mean no knots in it. It was knot free. Now the select might have a couple of small knots. Number 1 is the next grade down. It's if it has knots in it, they're not too big. Number 2 has got more knots and mule ears. And then number 3 is just crap. I mean, I would never use number 3 lumber for anything, number 3 floor joist. But that's just me, Hi, Vanessa. I use bingo. Good for you. That's exactly where to buy your lumber, is to go to a traditional lumber yard. Almost always the traditional lumber yards will have a far better grade of lumber, number 1 or select, much better stuff. Yeah, I'm going to take a look, Steve. I'm going to take a look at that. I'm really kind of curious to see what is over there in the UK. And I just would think that almost all of your lumber is imported. I can't even imagine. I mean, your country is so old, and you don't have that much forest land. You most certainly don't have enough land to grow timber on a rotating crop basis. There's no flipping way. There's no way. So you must import every single bit of your lumber. Vanessa says, my timber frame posts and beams are coming from Salma in Westfield, Mass. That's excellent. Well, as you well know, Vanessa, we have so much lumber here in the Northeast. And I mean, here where I live in central New Hampshire, especially this time of year, this is the busiest time of year for the timber cutters. The guys who actually cut the trees down, they do. I mean, they work long hours, well, they work from daylight from dawn until dusk, uh, because the ground's frozen and they can get in and get the trees without tearing up the flipping ground with their skidders. And so they're really, really busy in the wintertime. And I see logging trucks here all the time. I mean, you just see logging trucks um, everywhere. I mean, just everywhere carrying logs to the mills. And and we have, and as you well know, we have a lot of hardwood still here. I mean, a lot of, I mean, millions and millions of board feet of oak just here in New Hampshire. Yeah, there you go. We are lucky for oak and maples around here. You're exactly right. Yeah, and you're right. Winter is the best time to get them out. And the other reason why winter's better, as you probably know, the sap is still down in the root system. So the trees are much drier. So that's, I mean, if you're going to harvest trees, you want to do it in December or January. I'm telling you right now, you do not want to be harvesting trees in April, in New England. Are you kidding me? The sap running. All right, here we're getting some really good comments here. This is why I like doing the live stream, because I don't know where it's going to go, and you need to understand. I often learn something too. I shouldn't say learn. I discover something. Learning is hard. No one likes to learn. Everybody likes to discover. Discovering is fun. Steve says the vast majority of UK imports of plywood and wood pellets come from countries outside the EU in 2017, China and Brazil. Wow, that's very interesting. Well, Brazil doesn't surprise me. China does in a way. I would think that China would want to keep a lot of their own stuff. They've got so many people. What do I know? USA, 59%, Canada, 21% of the majority of wood pellet imports to the UK. Yeah, I can believe that 59% from the United States. DBM says, I could not even buy wood floors for my home. They went up like mad. Yeah. Lumber is oak. I don't even know. I haven't priced oak strip flooring in a long time. I can only imagine what it is. Yes. Les Warren, Vanessa says, I enjoy live streams. Thanks, Vanessa. Appreciate it. I enjoy doing them. I'm trying to be more relaxed. The only problem I have sometime with the live streams is, I mean, as you can imagine, I have to keep it going. If I stop talking like this, it gets pretty boring. So I have to talk, and I find it's much easier to talk about things that are in the chat stream than it is for me to just start babbling on about what I did yesterday. And I don't think that's very interesting to people. So that's why I really encourage every viewer, as long as they have a YouTube account, to get involved in the chat stream, ask questions. Doesn't have to be, it can be about anything. We can even talk about boars. Boars. Oh my gosh. All right. So DBM says China's manufacturing. Yeah, China is manufacturing a lot. When it was cheap for my customer, but could not get it for my own home. Yeah, interesting. Vanessa says I had a chance to buy 4x12 by 12 rough sawn 9 oak boards for $1 board. That is crazy. Yeah, you should have bought more of those. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? 4x12. Okay. That's crazy. Yeah, you should have bought a lot of that. That's a great price. Oh my gosh. And earlier, Steve, I think I said this before you got in here. I had a record day today. Had 3 people order plumbing isometric plumbing riser diagrams. Pretty exciting day. So I had to get one of them done right away because I've got a busy rest of the week. Really busy rest of the week. So I got one of them right out of the way, the one in New Orleans. I'll do the other one in the morning. And assuming that the architect in Arizona, Phoenix, gets me the plans, I'll do the third one maybe tomorrow too. Oh, yeah. Thick boards make a nice look. Yeah, you should see, Vanessa, you should see the workbench I have down in my garage. I inherited it from my next door neighbor. This is hard to believe. 45, well, he probably gave it to me 40 years ago when he was moving. But it wasn't, he lived next door to me in Pleasant Ridge, and he gave me this. I mean, it is an amazing workbench. I believe the top is probably 2 inches thick, and it's in beautiful condition. It's a beautiful workbench. I would never get rid of it, never. And I will, I'll give it to one of my kids, when the time comes. But oh, that's a great question, Steve. How many of them do I do in a year? I would say the business is growing, but boy, I looked at my list. I'm looking at it right now. I'm pulling up. I've got a tab open of all the drawings, and I'm trying to see if if there's a count. I don't see. There may be a way to do it, but I don't see how to get a count of all the files on this page. But man, I'm looking at a lot of flipping drawings. I would say I'm going to say I do. Like last year, I probably did 150. All right, which doesn't seem like much. That's only one every other day. My goal, what I'm trying to do, as crazy as it sounds, is I would like to do 2 a day, and I'm just getting started into doing some writing some extra columns to try to get organic traffic to that page, but to let people know that I do it. And but people are finding me anyway. But I would, if I could do 2 a day or 3 a day, that would be some serious money. I mean, serious money. And you have to understand that I've computerized it all. The drawings are just beautiful. I'm happy. In fact, what I'll do, Steve, is after the stream's done, I'll email you the one I did today. I'll just send it to you just so you can look at it. But they look beautiful. I mean, they're in color. They're all color coded. So I've got the different pipe sizes color coded. So you, as an inspector, you can just look at the plan and know automatically, oh, this is correct. This is right. But you'll, you can see how to do all the connections. It's really amazing. And I shouldn't say I've never failed an inspection yet. I drew one of my plans 2 years ago down in New Orleans, of all places. The person I drew for called me back and said, "Hey, I failed. You didn't draw the island sink the way that they do it down here." And I draw a typical loop vent because that's the way it works everywhere else in the nation. But in New Orleans, it's really interesting. And this is common. Different building inspectors and plumbing inspectors want things done differently. So loop vents are okay in New Orleans, but they want a 1.5-inch pressure relief vent at the base of the vent on the loop vent that goes and eventually gets out the roof. So they want a secondary vent, and they also want a clean out. They want 2 clean outs. They want to clean out in the sink cabinet, which I think is stupid because I don't know how you're going to get to it. They wanted it up high. I don't know how you would ever get a wrench up there, but whatever. And they want to clean 2 clean outs in the but that's simple to draw. So I modified that drawing so it's overkill for most places, but now anytime I draw one for New Orleans, I already know that the island, the loop vent's going to work fine for the kitchen sink. All right, here we go. Do you have an apprentice so you can retire to be on here? I do not have an apprentice. I don't. No, so my question to you though is, DVM, so I'm on here now. I'm trying to ask, like, do you want me to be on? Do you want me to live stream more often? Here's actually what I'm getting ready to do. I told earlier in the stream I was going to share what's going on because someone, I can't remember who it was, said they liked my videos. Here, I'll tell you a quick little backstory. Okay, yeah, no problem. I mean, it's all the plumbing is really the same everywhere, but just that they have this quirky little thing about island sinks. So when you put a kitchen sink in an island, you cannot put in a traditional vent. You don't want a stupid pipe going through the middle of your kitchen, right? So you put in what we call a loop vent. And but there they, for whatever reason, even though loop vents have worked great for many, many years, they want a secondary vent off that loop vent. This shirt was on sale for $44.95. So the normal price, let's just call it 50. But I got it for free, quote unquote free, only because I have a LL Bean, I have a credit card, a Visa card, and it's an LL Bean one. We always pay it off on time, but every time we buy something with it, no matter where we buy, you get points, but they call them bean bucks. So we had accumulated hundreds of dollars of bean bucks. And Kathy said the other day, she said, we got a lot of bean bucks. We should, if we need some clothes right now, we should get them. So I needed some new long underwear. I got some brand new long underwear. I'm going to try it tomorrow. It looks pretty nice. And then I got this shirt. She got a pair of gloves. So I like their stuff. It's really high quality. Yeah. All right. Because DBM says, because I learn a lot from older people. Yes, I am. Steve calls me a silver hair. Oh my gosh. Anyway, here's what I'm going to do about the videos. Yeah, they are, Vanessa. They're great. They make great stuff. I mean, I told you before, I've got one of their field watches. I mean, I just love this field watch is so accurate and I love it. Silver top. That's it. Silver top. Right. You're going to be there one day, buddy. Anyway, here's the trouble. Because I got really hurt badly by this 11 years ago. So I lost 95% of my traffic at my Ask the Builder website overnight because of the Panda algorithm update. That was devastating. It was horrible. And YouTube is kind of doing the same thing. There's like very little transparency about what the ad revenue is that we get on our videos. And if I was to do the math for you and show you how little money I make from each video view, you would be astonished. You would go, why would you waste your time making those videos? And by the way, Steve, I know what you're thinking right now. I actually chatted again this morning, early in the morning. They have somebody, I don't know where, I don't think they're working in the United States, but I asked them about that super thanks again. And the guy looked into it and he said, well, it's the same old answer. It's just like, well, it's in beta. And we just randomly rolled it out to certain websites. And I'm thinking, man, that plumber in the UK, he sure was one lucky guy. And you know who else has it on their website? Remember that? Remember whatever website it was, you sent me the video link or I found it about the dentist guy, the bad guy. Yeah, Dennis Nielsen. And because I go looking for the video you sent me about the plumber guy, because the guy wanted to have a screenshot. The guy from YouTube said, I want to make sure we're talking about the same thing. And lo and behold, I find the Dennis Nielsen video, and they've got it. They had, like, are you kidding me? They flipping a murderer website. Anyway, so I'm hoping soon that I get that super thanks. That'll make a big difference. Vanessa, been all white hair for over 15 years. Good for you. Good for you. Vanessa, so you have not gone down the pathway. It's like a one-way road, I feel. And men do it, both men and women, but they decide to color their hair because they I don't know, for whatever reason. But I think that's a one-way road. Once you start doing it, you don't turn back. And I just thought, oh, to hell with that. I'm not doing that. So I've said it multiple times here. The only time I look at my face normally is twice a day. In the morning when I comb my hair, and then I brush my teeth, and then at nighttime when I do it again. I don't care. And but I do get to see my hair here in the video when I look at the screen. Wayne says, must be nice to have hair. Oh, good for you, Vanessa. Good for you. Yes, you're exactly right, Steve. It will automatically go, and it'll make a big difference. I have to believe it will. It's actually going to be really interesting to see how that bumps up the revenue. And they told me when it gets turned on, there'll be an announcement on my dashboard. So every morning I go in, I check the dashboard. Is the announcement there? So we'll see. We'll see. Yes, it should make a big difference. But here's what I'm going to do. I keep getting sidetracked. because it's a huge mistake, and the internet is littered with stories about this, both on around Facebook and Instagram and Pinterest, where these young influencers have built this following, and then the what I call the platform, and that would be like YouTube or Instagram, uh, Google. Those are platforms. So if you build your business on the platform and the platform changes and you have no control of the platform, it's over with. So it's a huge mistake to do that. That's why I work really hard to try to get you to subscribe to my newsletter, because I have complete control of that list, and I can market to you and I can get to you directly. Because what happened with Facebook all those years ago is you may have 1,000 people following you, and all of a sudden you discover that when you make a post, only 50 people see it, and you go, "What the heck? Why aren't the other 950 people seeing it?" And Facebook goes, "Oh, you want the other 950 to see it? Well, that's going to cost you $10." Big mistake to build your business on somebody else's platform. So here's what I'm doing. I've decided, while I still have the fire burning inside of me, this spring and summer, I'm going to record a bunch of videos, but they're going to be like my linear French drain video. I've got a video that's for sale in my shopping cart that shows you how to stop water coming in your basement. The video is 90 minutes long. 90. That's the same length as a full feature length film, a Hollywood film, 90 minutes. And I sell it for $24. And if you don't watch my video, you might pay some company $10,000. And what they're going to do is not going to work as well. I'm going to record videos like that linear French drain one, really in-depth videos. They might be 30 minutes long. They might be an hour long. They could be 2 hours long, but I'm not putting them up on YouTube. I'm going to sell them all. That's what I'm doing. I don't want to say I'm done with YouTube, but it just is crazy to put my videos up on YouTube. And then here's what happens when you embed the videos. It's like you're constantly getting stuck in the back by them. Years ago, I would embed my videos on my website and to have them watch there. Well, now if you go to my website or you go anywhere else and you see an embedded YouTube video, in the lower left corner, there's a big black box. It says, "Watch on YouTube," and so if people click that, then they leave your website. Are you kidding me? Anyway. All right, here we go. Let me get caught up on the comments. Have you? I have watched a few of that plumber's video. That guy's great. I love that guy. If I make it over to the UK, I want to meet that guy. That's all I want to tell you. I would, even if we could just have lunch with him, maybe. Missing Lorene. Hi, Lorene. Just stopped and say I'm on a car trip to Iowa. It's good for you. Drive safely, or have. All right, good. Well, you drive home on Thursday. Okay. Good. Drive safely. Glad you checked in. It's amazing that you're here. DBM says, I have a widescreen. I would watch it with some popcorns and send me the link, and I'll buy it. Okay. I'll send you the link right now to let's see here. We actually kind of changed the here we go, right here. We changed the navigation in the shopping cart to make it better. I'm still learning it, actually. We kind of combined a bunch of categories. Here we go. I'm gonna have a link for you in just a second. Here we go. I've almost got it. Here we go. This video, and here's the best part. In the if you have a wet basement or a wet crawl space, and you use this system, and I explain in there why this works, because my college degree was in hydrogeology, which is the study of groundwater. And most people don't understand how groundwater moves. So once you understand how groundwater moves in the ground, then you know how to capture it and stop it from entering your house or your basement. The best part is, most people who put in my system, the most that they would spend would be $500. but companies try to get you for 10 grand or better. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. So you can save thousands and thousands of dollars watching that video. Lorene's the passenger. Good. All right. All right. Compare these prices as well. Let's see. Okay. Oh, okay. I will go there. I will go there. I'll do that tomorrow when this thing comes up and I can click that link. If I click the link now, I think I kill the stream. So I'm terrified to click the links that you guys put in the stream. I think it completely closes this window out. One day I may do a test. I may do a test real quickly and see if that's true. DBM says, I have a snake in my crossbait trying to catch it. Serpents. Not a big fan of serpents. I cannot help you catch the serpent. There's a way. I'm sure there's a way to do it, but it's not me, buddy. I'm not messing with the serpents. Not doing it. Not a big fan of serpents. No, that's a great. I've tried that before. I have tried, and actually, I'm going to try to right click and see what happens. Oh, here we go. Okay, let me do that. Just a second. Here we go. I'll try something here. Let's see if it works. I think it might work. I don't know. No, it's not doing it. See what it does? It captures the link of the stream. So I cannot do it. So nope. I just tried to do it. I right clicked that link you put in there, and it doesn't. What it does is it captures. I mean, it's got. You can actually see it maybe on your screen. I mean, the redirect. It's got a redirect link that's just absolutely huge. Well, let me try it again. Maybe it does. Maybe it will work. We'll see here. I don't think it's going to kill the stream. All right, we'll find out. I'm letting you know it's going. Yep, it did work. Okay, I was able to copy that. Stand by. It's opening up. So this is is this the LL Bean? I'm assuming this is the LL Bean shop for Britain. All right. Shirts. You've got shirts, men's. So I'm going to say that it would be casual button-down shirts, although I don't see any flannels. All right. I'm just going to click that, see what happens. Stand by. I'm looking. I'll let you know what it is. Yeah, here we go. Yes, good. All right, so this is where I want to be. I'm trying to find just a regular flannel that I know is not all-season flannel. Untucked. Okay, here we go. Come on. Why are you not? No, I don't want... I'm not shipping anywhere. I just want to have a flipping price, loser. All right, I'm trying to get to the page where it shows me the price. I just clicked it. We'll see. Here we go. I don't know why, Steve, it's not showing me the flipping price. It's crazy. I mean, I see the whole thing. It is not showing me a price. Isn't that crazy? I don't get it. I'm going to add it to the bag. All right, I'm just going to add it to the cart. Okay, fine. Regular, large, color, fine. Okay, here we go. I'm going to add it to the bag. I'm trying to go. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's really high. Oh, my gosh. $90. All right. So $90. I guess it's figuring that it's U.S. currency. So, yeah, you're paying almost 100% more. Wow. So here's what can happen if you want one of those shirts. You know what? I have an LL Bean outlet store not too far from me. And, like I can tell you right now, and Will also swear to this, so maybe in a month or two, all of the shirts like this are going to be on sale big time. I mean, this shirt, which is normally $50, I might be able to get for $30. And what I need to find out is how cheaply could I ship something like that to you in England? And then, okay, so 100, okay, so is $135. Oh, so it's even more. Oh no. Well, I don't know. I have to. I'm so bad at that whole money exchange thing. All right. So anyway, anyway, Maybe I could actually ship you a shirt much, much cheaper than you could buy it for. We'll see. We ought to look into that. That would be kind of fun. That'd be kind of interesting. Speaking of serpents, Trudeau, what? That guy's such a loser. Oh my gosh, the people hate him. I saw a survey come back. Only 16% of the people in Canada like that guy. How, oh, he's such a loser. Yes, well, I was able to right-click and get it to copy. DBM says, my wife keeps telling me to be a man and go in there and do battle with a serpent. Oh my gosh. Do battle with a serpent. Oh my gosh. Tell your wife to go in there, especially what about this whole, send her the whole thing. If Lorraine's still watching, she's probably going to scold me. I mean, you know what? I think it's really kind of funny. So let's go back in time. If you remember before the whole, I can't remember the woman here in America who pushed the whole feminist movement. Gloria Steinem, I think it was. And so back before that, we were taught, I was taught, open the door for your date and hold the door open when you go to a restaurant, do all these things, to be very courteous. And so now it's like, well, since we're all equal, you should be holding the flipping door open for me. So you should tell your wife, maybe you should go in and do battle with the serpent. Oh my gosh. Anyway, what do I know? I had I wish there was a way to share it. I had oh, so you'll love this. Actually, I can show it to you on the phone. So Alex, yesterday, Alex sends me a photo for Valentine's Day. It was hilarious. And I know you won't be able to read this, but I'm going to read it for you. It says, when she comes home and you've already run the hot water for her. So this is on Valentine's Day. So I don't know if you can see that, but that's your kitchen sink filled with soapy water with candles around it. I showed that to Kathy today, and she just rolled her eyes, And I told her, I said, I texted back to him that would never happen at our house. And I had that pregnant pause. And I said, I would never light that many candles. Feminazis. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Will's right. Rent a mongoose. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. All right. To give you an idea, this is really exciting. To give you an idea, here it is. It's February 15th. And it's 5:13 p.m. here. And I mean, the sun, I think maybe just went down. I could look on my weather app. But I mean, it is so flipping bright outside. I mean, it's like it's daytime. And it's not even dusky yet. And if we just went back to just before Christmas, I mean, it would have already been pitch black for an hour. So we're picking up that much daylight, every day. We must be picking up now about 4 minutes a day, 3 or 4 minutes, I think. And it's just exciting as can be. I mean, I love it. I love more daylight each day. I mean, who doesn't? So Steve, you're up higher in latitude, so you're picking up even more each day. I mean, you might be picking up 6 minutes a day of daylight. So I remember way back when I was just had gotten out of college, a guy that I grew up with on my street, we kind of became really good friends. He was the brother that I never had. He passed away about 6-7 years ago. It was really a bad day for me. You can read about it. I wrote a page for him, like an obituary. He was a civil engineer, and he got a job right out of college working for Procter & Gamble, big international corporation. And pretty early on, he got transferred over to, I think they have a big facility, I'm going to say Belgium. Doesn't matter, but it's really close to Steve. And I remember he told me one day that it was very common for him to cut his grass at 11 o'clock at night. Still enough light to cut the grass at 11 o'clock at night. Wow, crazy. Yeah, I know. Oh, I know, Steve. You are you kidding me? I mean, because what? Look, I already know because I'm a ham radio operator. It's 10:15 in London right now. Come on, because I have to use Universal Time, so it's 5 hours. You're 5 hours ahead of me, so you bet you've had darkness for I imagine it got dark there tonight at 6 o'clock your time would be my guess, 6 p.m. So it's been dark for at least 4 hours. Anyway, crutch word. Somebody I caught up here. Somebody said way up here. I just saw it. I just remembered. Here we go. Jason wanted to know, when is the next Zoom meeting going to be? All right, that's a good question. So, Steve, if you're still here, yeah, you are. I done an oil change in the car at 5 o'clock the other day. There you go. So, Steve, let's do another Zoom call soon. This weekend is no good for me. Maybe the following weekend if you're not working. So, Steve, if you could email me and let me know when a good Zoom time would be, I'll put it out to everyone, let's try to work it. And Jason, you need to let me know when's the best time for you. I need to know when that is so we make sure that you're home. That would be really helpful because you did not make the last one. All right. So anyway, what else did I want to share? Oh, I don't know if you see it over in the UK, Steve, but I've been seeing a lot of these I call them long form commercials for products, and they use the people who write the copy for these are experts, and they're very seductive. I mean, the psychology that's being used in the commercial is they use all the psychological triggers of social proof, authority, commitment, especially scarcity, and they hammer on the scarcity. And what it was for this 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 thing you plug into an outlet. It's like about the size. I think it's the size of a smartphone. My smartphone. And it's supposedly at this crazy, amazing invention that you plug into a wall outlet and it heats the room. And they talk about, and in the early part of the commercial, it's like, it doesn't cost hardly anything to operate. It's like magical, blah, blah, blah. It's called Alpha Flame. Go look it up. Alpha Flame. And here, I'm just going to warn you. In my opinion, this is an opinion. All right, really important. I have to say that to protect myself. Don't do it. Don't succumb to the pressure that you're going to be subjected to. There's just no way. Especially if you've taken high school physics. You have to understand how heat's generated. All right, so. Ours are too. Ours are all. It's horrible. Buy in China for $10. Anyway, Alpha Flame. Go look up Alpha Flame and go to their website. Watch. Maybe I'm sure you'll see the commercial. And but in my opinion, like I said, do not get your credit card out. DBM says, you ever seen the stove that uses battery? No, I've not seen that stove, but you have to understand this about electricity. I mean, you can use electricity to create heat, there's nothing magical about that. I mean, that's what your toaster does. That's what your furnace does. That's what an electric baseboard heater does. That's what this does. If I can lift it up. I have just a second here. So I have this little portable space heater for my office. It's like an old-fashioned radiator. Does a really great job. But it's just got an electric resistance coil inside the bottom of the radiator. It's just using electricity, and um, so it you can't magically make more heat from electricity uh, using one method versus another. That's not how it works. So you can only get so many BTUs from a kilowatt of electricity. Period. Exactly. Right. It's just anyway. Here, let's see it get caught up. If I live where you are and the prices were the same as UK, yeah, I've got one of the Milwaukee heated jackets. I've got a couple of different ones actually, um, and they're nice. Well, you would because you get cold so easy. For those jackets to work, here's what I don't like about them. I like jackets to be a little roomy. I don't like to feel like I'm a sausage. Um, so for those heated jackets to work, they need to be pretty tight around you. If there's an air gap between the jacket and your body, then there's not really good heat transfer. So I don't like that fit. I don't like that feel, but some people do. So just be aware of that the jackets need to fit a little tight. Uh, but they do work. I have one of the first ones that Milwaukee put out. They work really well, and they've got a little button up on the collar up near the top, and it's got low, medium, high. So there's three settings. Um, it uses the smaller. I don't have one here. Smaller 12-volt battery. It's about the size. I don't know. Trying to think how big it is. I don't know. I can't think of how big it is. Anyway, it's a small battery, but they work pretty well. They work pretty well, but they're not going to keep you warm all day. That battery's not going to last all day. I'll tell you that. Yes, the hoodies. I have the Milwaukee hoodie, and yeah. I mean, I think that they're really good for when it's uh, not so cold out. I guess that's about the best way to put it, because then you don't have to have the setting on high, and you'll get longer battery life. But they're okay. I mean, they work. I'll tell you right now, they work. But if you want them to keep you really warm, they have to fit you pretty tightly. You know, Simple as that. Any other questions? Been on for almost an hour and a half. Crazy. It doesn't feel that long to me. I'll tell you that. It doesn't feel that long at all. It was a good live stream today. DBM, do you think the cops wear that? Well, yeah, they're wearing their Kevlar bulletproof vests. I mean, if you look at any police officer, they all dress like sausages. They've all got tight fitting clothes. And I think they do that also. I think I may be wrong on this, but they don't want to have a lot of loose fitting clothing that would make it easy for you to grab them. I just have a feeling. I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to have that. But they wear those bulletproof vests, and they have to be uncomfortable. Got to be hot as hell in the summertime. Um, anyway, um, let's see. What did I want to say? What else did I want to say? I can't think. I'm drawing a blank right now. I'll do like a last call at the bar. So if you have any last questions about your house or about how to capture snakes, serpents, now's the time to do it. Now is the time. If everyone can agree on the best time, the Zoom, I'll work around. Well, no, not everyone will agree. I mean, that's impossible. I'll put the word out. I just think it would help. It will just help us because we have to really work around you. I mean, seriously, it's so important that you're on the Zoom call. You're like the center of the Zoom thing, man, because you're a UK man and it was your idea. And a lot of people are very interested in what you say. So it's very important that you're there. So we need to make sure you're going to be there. So that's why you got to pick the time or pick a couple of times that would work for you. And like I said, I think that maybe we absolutely want to come up with two topics to discuss on the Zoom call. One of them that I think would be kind of a minor topic because it would take a lot to pull off, and the whole illness thing's got to be over with. But I think it would really be interesting to see the interest in a parachute drop. Because I just think that'd be a lot of fun. Will, that's easy. Will wants to know, how about a suggestion to keep my exterior vinyl door? All right, I'll talk about this really briefly. It's really simple. So mildew is like fire. All right, think about fire. If you train to be a firefighter, one of the first things you discuss, could be the first day of the academy, is they teach you there are 3 things that you need to have a fire. You have to have 3 things. Can you think what they are? I know it's right in front of you. So you have to have heat, for one. You have to have heat. You have to have fuel, and you have to have oxygen. When you combine those 3 things, you're going to have a fire. All right. Mildew is the same thing. You only need 3 things for mildew to grow. And this goes for mold too. Regular mold and mildew. And algae. Algae is the same. All 3 of those things. Here's the 3 things you need. You need, in your case, you need mildew spores. You need the actual spore, which is the seed. You need food, and you need water. So the mildew spores are always around you. They're always surrounded. Like here, I think we've talked about this. Here in my cave where I am right now, as I look around, there could be 100,000 mildew spores. Fortunately, I'm not allergic, so it doesn't bother me, but they're everywhere. There are mildew spores that are on the counter. They're on everything. And if I was to get things wet in here, like get them damp, spritz it and keep it wet, within a day or 2, mildew is going to be growing. So here's the trouble, Will. So there's 2 things that you cannot control on your outside door. You cannot control the food. Well, I'm sorry. You cannot control the mildew spores because they're constantly floating in the air, more so in the spring, summer, and fall than in the winter. And you can't easily control the water. So what can you control? You can control the food. You can control the food that the mildew eats, which means once you use stain solver or whatever you want to use to clean the mildew off, then if you don't want to see mildew ever again, then you just need to just take regular liquid dish soap and water and wash the outside of that door once a month. Or, you might only have to wash it. Well, you might have to wash it twice a month in the warmer weather. But once you get to Thanksgiving, you might wash it the last time and you might not have to wash it again until the end of April. But because it just won't, I don't think the mildew is going to grow very well in the wintertime. But that's how you stop it. You have to get rid of the food. If you get rid of the food, there's nothing there for the mildew to eat, so it can't grow. Simple as that. All right, Steve says, do you have any problems with rodents considering your house are wooden? So they must chew cables like that. Yes. And Will attest to this. So this is something I learned from coming from the Midwest. In the Midwest, there's not a big problem in the Midwest where I came from in Cincinnati with mice. I mean, it was very rare to have a mouse in the house. Now, if you'd let the cats outside, they would catch them outside. But here in where I live in New Hampshire, and from what I understand, all of the Northeast, I'm telling you, man, the mice, they're smart, man. They go, you know what? It's going to get cold here this winter. We need to get inside. And they figure out how to get inside, and they can get through a hole as small as a dime. And so it can be a big problem. I actually had kind of a bad mice problem here for the past few years, and I finally found where they were getting in at. I looked and looked and looked. I could never find it. Here's what happened. So I had these really great how come I can't think of the word? The safe traps. You don't cut their head off. They just kind of trap them, and humane. You can release, catch and release traps. Got them on Amazon. They're really nice. I got a review on Ask the Builder. They're very good. So I'm catching mice like crazy in October. Every night I'd set 2 of these traps in the garage and I'd catch 2 mice. And I'm going, how in the heck are these guys getting in here? And so I decided that I wanted these mice that when I released them, I wanted them to be clean. I wanted them to take a bath. So I go to drop them in this bucket of water so they could take a quick bath. And this mouse, I held the trap up a little too high. He jumps out of the trap, flies over the bucket, hits the ground running, and immediately in a beeline, he runs right over to this corner of my foundation. He jumps up a foot in the air. The mouse jumps a foot in the air and disappears. I stood there like this. I couldn't believe it. I went, what? So I go over and I bend down, and then I couldn't see much. It was kind of dark. So I take my finger and stick it up, and there's this hole that they somehow had chewed through the base plate, through the sill plate of the house. It was like a super highway. So I immediately got my silicone caulk, caulked the heck out of that hole, filled it up. Not one more mouse came in the house, not one more. So I found the place they were getting in. But I then did some research and found out they've got a really incredible sense of smell. And they mark a pathway with urine, and they can smell the urine of the other mice or their urine, whatever. And that's how that guy knew where to go. And yes, the mice can chew through electric cables. I tried to stop the mice from getting in the shed once. I had a piece of aluminum that they were getting in at this one spot at the corner of the garage door. And I put an aluminum flash in there thinking it would stop them. I thought, oh, they're not going to, there's no way they're going to get through this metal. I go up there a week later, and the mice had chewed through the aluminum. They hadn't gotten in yet, but I was like, are you kidding me? So their teeth are strong enough to chew through aluminum. So I switched out the aluminum with steel with a thin, like ductwork. Problem solved. They can't get through steel. But yes, Steve, it's a problem. No, okay, Will. So no, you just have to keep cleaning it. Just keep cleaning it. The mildew will never come back. You just have to figure out how long you can go between cleaning, so you're not cleaning it more often than you have to. No, it's a really neat trap. All you have to do is type mouse trap or mice or mouse into the search engine as the builder. You can see that trap. They're very good. The traps are great. They don't kill the mice. You can just catch and release it. But if you release it near your home, they're going to come right back in. So know that. Okay. I think I'm going to get out of here. Hour and 32 minutes. That's a long time. I want to let you know I'll be here tomorrow. I think I'll be here tomorrow. I don't think I have to go get the car. We'll see. I don't know. If I'm not here, that's where I am. I'm picking up Kathy's car. So anyway, Steve says, have you tried using wire wool? Well, that would be steel wool. So you're right. That would be good. But like I said, I put it in caulk. Once the snow's gone, I can't check it right now. The snow's piled so high right there, comes off the roof. I want to see if those little guys tried to chew through the silicone caulk. And what I'll do for sure at that spot this spring, I'll take some regular sheet metal, galvanized sheet metal, and fashion a thing and put up a shield and make it impossible. They'll never get back in there. And I'll do it in such a way that anybody buying the house, they would never even know it was there. But I'm going to put up a barricade. They're not getting through because I'm convinced they'll chew through that damn silicone. Okay, I'm going to get out of here. So Jason, you need to let us know a good time to do the Zoom call. Steve, same thing. Email me if you could, please. And we'll try to pull it off. Not this weekend, the following weekend. All right, DBM, I'm out of here too. All right, thanks so much for watching today. Really had a good time. A lot of great questions. You can see why your comments and your questions in the stream, they bring this whole thing alive. I mean, the last thing you want to hear is me babbling on about something that happened yesterday or some interaction I had with somebody. Let's talk about stuff that can help you save time and money. That's what I want to do. Okay. Have a great night, Steve. Will, thank you. DBM, great that you were here. A lot of great comments and questions. I'm trying to look up. Vanessa was here. If she's still here. Joe was here. A lot of people. Wayne, a lot of people today. It was great. I'm just trying to go back up through the chat. 8-Bit Vinyl. Of course, Lorene was here for a little bit. Great live stream. Thank you. And remember, you're the one who makes it possible. And your comments in the chat and your questions, they bring it alive. That's why I'm here. So I appreciate it. All right, I'm out of here. Thanks very much. I hope to be here tomorrow. If I'm not, it's only because I'm picking up Kathy's car. Adios. I'm Tim Carter. You've been watching Ask the Builder.